For many long years, the big meeting of stars, called the Galactic Concord, happened every cycle on the shining world of Vara Prime. All the smart races came there to talk and make rules and share things. The tall crystal people from Lyrath sent their smooth speakers. The big bug warriors from Kelt sent their sharp commanders. The waterfolk from Thalor sent their soft singers who floated in glass bowls. Even the old slow tree minds from Virtus rolled in on heavy carts to listen. Every known thinking species got a message to come. Earth got one too, each time. Earth never answered. At the start, the aliens laughed about it. They remembered when humans first reached the stars. Humans had slow ships that burned dirty fuel. Humans still fought each other over small patches of land and drops of water. The Concord called Earth a young, messy place full of loud, angry monkeys. They gave Earth a small seat just to be kind. When no human came the first year, the crystal speaker made a joke. The monkeys must still throw dirt at each other and cannot leave their trees. All the others clicked or hummed or bubbled with laughter. The joke spread and became a saying at every meeting. Years went by. More meetings happened. More invitations went to Earth. Earth stayed quiet. No ships came from the sun system. No voices spoke on the open channels. No traders asked for shiny tech or rare metals. The aliens started to forget about the small blue world. They moved Earth down on their lists. They called it a closed, curious place, not worth much time. Some even said, take away the invitation, because Earth clearly does not care about the big family of stars. But probes still flew near Sol now and then. The machines saw strange things. Big rings circled some planets. Huge shapes moved in the dark beyond Neptune. Lights blinked in patterns that looked planned. Factories grew on asteroids like metal forests. Yet no one came out to greet the watchers. No flags waved, no messages begged for help. Friendship? The aliens shrugged and turned back to their own important talks. The Concord grew bigger and stronger. New races joined. Old wars got settled with clever words. Trade ships filled the lanes with goods from 1,000 worlds. Everyone felt safe under the big rules. They built grand halls on Vara Prime. They made statues of famous speakers from long ago. They drank sweet drinks and told stories of how wise they all were. Then trouble came. Dark swarms appeared at the edge of known space. The Rachni had slept for ages in cold voids. Now they woke hungry. Their living ships ate whole moons. Their acid spit melted shields and hulls. World after world fell silent. Screams filled the emergency channels. Fleets rushed to stop the tide. The Concord gathered its best ships. 500 proud vessels waited at the narrow pass in the Orion Arm. They stood ready to fight for all the stars. A call went out to every member. Send help. Send ships. Send anything. The Rachni come. Fast, Earth heard the call too. For the first time in all those years, a short message arrived at Vara Prime. The words came plain and cold. We heard you. Wait. The crystal speaker read it aloud in the big hall. Some aliens laughed again. They said, what can those slow monkeys do? Others stayed quiet. A few old ones who studied old human wars felt cold in their cores. They remembered tales of humans fighting hard and never giving up. But most pushed the worry away. They had 500 ships. They had the best weapons. They had each other. No one looked close at the numbers coming from Sol. No one counted the new shadows on deep scans. No one tracked the quiet flow of metal and power in that small system. The aliens waited for their battle. They polished their guns and sang their songs of glory. Far away in the warm light of one yellow star, a different song played. It was the low hum of engines waking up. It was the click of locks opening. It was the soft voice of machines. Counting down, 1,000 black shapes waited in the dark. They had waited long. Now their time drew near. Humans had not ignored the galaxy. They had listened to every word. They had watched every meeting from far away. They had learned the rules. They had seen the pride. They had measured the weakness. And while the stars talked, humans worked. They built in silence. They forged steel in secret. They trained minds and metal together. They tested weapons in empty space. They grew strong without anyone seeing. Now the Rachni ate at the door. Now the Concord shook with fear. Now the old joke about monkeys felt very small. In the heart of the Sol system, Admiral Elena Voss stood on her flag bridge. She looked at screens full of green lights. Every ship reported ready. Every crew stood calm. She spoke one word to her fleet. Soon. The galaxy thought Earth had slept. The galaxy thought Earth had failed to join. The galaxy was wrong. Earth had prepared, and now Earth would answer. Period. In the 63rd cycle, the galaxy felt real fear for the first time in many ages. The Rachni came like a black wave from the empty dark between arms. Their ships looked alive and sick. Thick shells pulsed with wet veins. Acid dripped from mouths that never closed. They did not talk or ask. They ate. Whole colonies vanished in days. Cities became empty husks floating in silence. The Concord sent fast scouts to see the truth. The scouts never came back. Only broken signals reached home. Screams cut short. Then, nothing. Panic spread through the shining halls of Vara Prime. Delegates who once argued over trade prices now shouted for ships and guns. The crystal people from Lyrath glowed dim with worry. Their smooth voices cracked when they spoke. The bug commanders from Kelt clicked fast and loud. They demanded action now. The water singers from Thalor floated low in their bowls. Their songs turned sad and low. Even the slow tree minds from Verdus shook their branches. Leaves fell early from stress. The council called an emergency meeting. They filled the biggest chamber. Lights burned bright. Screens showed red dots where worlds used to be. The red dots grew fast. The Rachni moved toward the heart of known space. They aimed for the Orion Arm Pass. If they broke through there, many rich systems would fall. The Concord gathered its defense fleet. 500 ships came together. Big carriers from Kelt with sharp claws. Long spears from Lyrath that shot clean light. Heavy shells from Thalor that rolled like storms. Small fast hunters from newer races. They lined up in neat rows. Flags waved in many colors. Commanders spoke brave words on open channels. They said, "We stand as one. We will stop the swarm. The Rachni will break on our wall." Everyone listened and felt a little better. But deep inside, many knew the truth. The Rachni had eaten bigger fleets before. The old wars left scars that still hurt. The council sent the final call. A message went to every world. Danger comes. Send what you can. Ships, weapons, food, anything. The galaxy needs help now. The message reached Earth, too. Quiet Sol stayed quiet for a long time. Then one short reply came back. Plain words on a plain signal. "We received your message. Stand by." The crystal speaker read it to the chamber. Some laughed loud. They said, "Look, the monkeys finally spoke." "What will they send? A few rusty rockets?" Others snorted through breath holes. They said Earth has nothing useful. They probably still use rocks for weapons. A few wise ones did not laugh. An old Thalor singer remembered stories from first contact. Hard, even when weak. They did not quit easy. A Kelt commander rubbed his blades together slow. He said, "Wait and see. Something feels wrong." But most pushed the small message away. They had 500 proud ships. They had strong shields and big guns. They had plans drawn by the best minds. They did not need quiet Earth. The fleet waited at the pass. Sensors watched the dark. Days passed slow. The Rachni came closer. Scouts saw the first edges of the swarm. Black shapes blotted stars. Numbers too high to count easy. The admirals gave orders. Hold the line. Fire when in range. No retreat. The Concorde ships powered weapons. Shields glowed bright. Everyone waited for the crash. Then strange things started on the edges of scans. Ghost signals appeared and vanished. Fleets showed for a second, then disappeared. Grav waves rippled where nothing should. Commanders asked, "What is that?" Tech officers said, "Unknown." Maybe Rachni tricks, maybe broken sensors. No one knew for sure. More signals came, fast blips deep in empty space. Metal reflections that moved too perfect. Ships maybe, but no one claimed them. The Rachni pressed harder. Their vanguard ships reached shooting range. Acid bolts flew. Concorde shields flared and held. Guns answered back. Light and metal met wet flesh. Small winds happened, but the swarm kept coming. More and more. The line bent a little. Worry grew in the fleet. Then every sensor in the Orion arm lit up red. Alarms screamed on every bridge. Officers stared at screens, mouths open, voices stopped. One moment the space ahead stayed empty. Next moment it filled. 1,000 black warships sat there, silent and still. No flash of arrival, no wave of engines. Just there. Perfect formation. Shells drank all light. No shine, no mark, except one small blue-green ball crossed by swords. The lead ship looked huge, long and wide, like a small moon cut in half. Guns lined every side, tubes and ports ready. Escorts spread around in rings. Big carriers, fast hunters, heavy pounders, all the same cold black, all the same mark. The Rachni stopped. The hive mind felt something new. It pulled back a step. For the first time, the swarm waited. Concorde ships stared too. Admirals opened channels fast. Identify now. State your purpose. Friend or foe? No answer at first. Then one voice came, calm and clear, human accent and standard tongue, almost bored. "This is Admiral Elena Voss of the Terran Navy. We received your invitation. We came to answer it." Screens showed her face. Back. Eyes steady. Uniform black and sharp. Behind her the bridge looked clean and busy. People worked calm. No panic, no rush, just ready. The crystal speaker blinked fast. He asked how. "How did you come so many, so fast?" Voss smiled small. "We were always here. You just never looked right." The human fleet stayed still. No move forward. No guns hot yet. But every weapon tracked. Every shield hummed full. Behind the warships, big shapes unfolded slow. Mobile yards opened like flowers. Drones poured out. They carried parts and fuel and repair arms. They moved to help the Concorde ships that already bled. No ask for thanks. Just work. The galaxy saw the truth then. Earth had not slept. Earth had built. While others talked and met, Earth made. Factories on rocks, mines in belts, forges in orbit, power from the sun, caught in pieces. Ships born in secret. Trained crews in silence. Weapons tested far away. All without one word to the Concorde. 63 years of quiet work. Now ready. The Rachni hissed and gathered again. They smelled weakness in the shock. They charged. The human fleet answered. Not loud, not wild, just sure. And the real fight began. The human fleet did not rush forward with noise or bright flashes. It simply waited in perfect lines, like hunters who already knew the kill belonged to them. 1,000 black warships filled the space ahead of the Concorde line. Their hulls looked smooth and dark as deep space itself. No lights blinked on the outside. No exhaust trails warmed the cold void. Every gun port stayed closed, but sensors showed they tracked every moving thing. The Rachni swarm hesitated for the first time anyone could remember. The hive mind felt the new weight in the empty dark. It pulled its vanguard ships back a small distance. Acid glands pulsed slower. Living hulls quivered as if tasting danger. The Concorde admirals stared at their screens in shock. Mouths stayed open. Hands froze on controls. Voices died in throats. The crystal speaker from Lyrath whispered one word in his own tongue. Impossible. A Kelt bug. Commander rubbed his eye stalks. Hard. He said, "Count them again." The numbers stayed the same. 1,000. All bigger than most Concorde heavies. All silent and ready. The lead human ship turned its bow just a little. It aimed straight at the heart of the Rachni push. Its name glowed faint on every scan. UNS Sol Invictus. 18 kilometers long, from nose to engines. Wide enough to hide small cities inside. Guns lined every flat side like teeth in a long mouth. Escort ships formed tight shells around it. Carriers opened bays slow. Small fighters poured out like angry bees. They flew in patterns too neat for living pilots alone. Machines guided them. Machines trained on years of human war games. The Rachni tested first. A wave of small bio-drones rushed forward. They spat poison needles at the human line. Point defense guns answered before the needles flew far. Blue fire. Lines stitched the dark. Every drone popped into wet mist. Not one reached shield range. The swarm tried again. Bigger ships charged with open maws. Acid streams arced through space. Human shields flared white, but held firm. No hull cracked. No ship staggered. Railguns spoke next. Long, silent barrels spat metal slugs at high speed. Each slug hit like a star falling. Rachni hulls tore open in clean lines. Flesh boiled away in vacuum. Chunks drifted slow. The hive mind screamed silent pain across its links. It felt pieces die fast. Concorde ships watched without moving. Their own guns stayed quiet. They did not need to fire yet. Humans did the work alone. Admiral Elena Voss appeared on every open screen again. Her face stayed calm. Her voice carried clear over battle noise. Rachni vessels, this is your only warning. Withdraw now or be ended. No words like warning. It only knew hunger and feed. It answered with everything at once. Thousands of living ships rushed forward. They filled the space like a black tide. Acid clouds bloomed thick. Plasma whips cracked. The human fleet met them head-on. Not wild, not loud, just exact. Carriers launched more fighters. Waves of small craft danced between big enemies. They cut weak points with lasers. They planted charges on soft spots. Battle cruisers moved slow and sure. Their main guns spoke in rhythm. Each shot found a heart or brain core. Destroyers darted fast. They slipped past bigger foes. They tore engines and spines. The battle turned into a lesson. Rachni died by hundreds, then thousands. Human ships took hits but shrugged them off. Shields rebuilt fast. Repair drones swarmed out from tenders. They patched holes while guns kept firing. Mobile yards worked behind the line. They fed fresh munitions. They pulled damaged ships back gentle. They sent them forward again whole. 3 hours passed. The swarm broke. What started as endless black waves turned thin and ragged. Living ships drifted dead. Acid pools froze into crystals. The last big nest ship tried one final charge. It opened every mouth wide. It spat a storm of death. The Sol Invictus answered alone. A single bright lance shot from its bow. Clean white light cut through the nest. The ship split in half slow. Both parts burned from inside. Then quiet fell. Real quiet. No more hisses, no more acid rain, only drifting meat and metal. The Rachni fled what remained. Small pieces ran back to dark space. They would not return soon. The Concorde fleet floated still. 500 ships looked small now. Many had burns, broken parts, but they lived because humans came. Admirals opened channels slow. Voices shook a little. "Thank you," they said. "Who are you really?" Voss answered from her bridge. She stood straight, hands behind back. "We are the Terran Navy. We skipped your meetings because we had work to do. You talked about peace and rules. We built what keeps peace when words fail." Screens behind her showed Sol System. Rings of factories spun around planets. Asteroid mines glowed with heat. Shipyards birthed new hulls even now. A swarm of drones caught sunlight in vast nets. Power flowed endless. "We grew while you waited," she said. "We learned your wars from records. We saw your pride. We chose silence instead of seats at your table. Now the threat is gone. Your borders stand safe. For the moment." She paused. Her eyes looked straight through every camera. "We will come when the galaxy needs us, but never again on your terms only. We answer our own call first." The screens went dark. Human ships stayed in place. They did not leave. They did not cheer. They simply watched. Repair drones moved to Concorde wounded ships. They fixed what they could without ask. No one stopped them. The galaxy understood something new that day. Earth had never been weak. Earth had never been absent. Earth had waited. And now, Earth stood tall, with 1,000 warships, ready for whatever came next. The battle ended so fast it felt like a dream gone wrong for the Rachni. One moment, thousands of living ships filled the void with screams and acid. The next, only broken pieces floated slow in the cold dark. Human warships moved through the wreckage like quiet wolves after a hunt. They did not chase the few fleeing nests. They did not need to. The swarm knew fear now. It would hide deep and lick its wounds for many cycles. The Concorde fleet stayed frozen in place. 500 proud ships looked tiny and hurt next to the black human wall. Burn marks scarred their hulls. Shields flickered weak on some. Holes leaked air and light from others. But they lived. Every single one. Because the Terran Navy chose to stand between them and death. Admirals on Concorde bridges looked at each other across screens. No one spoke at first. Then slow voices came. Questions, mixed with thanks. Sounded small and scared. "How did you do that? Where did all these ships come from? Why now?" Admiral Elena Voss answered from the wide bridge of the Sol Invictus. She stood tall in her black uniform. Hands folded, calm behind her back. Her face filled every open channel. No smile, no anger, just steady eyes that saw everything. "We did what had to be done," she said. "The Rachni came to eat. We stopped them. Simple as that." A crystal delegate from Lyrath pushed forward on his hover disk. His globe pulsed fast with many colors. He asked, "But you skipped every meeting for 63 cycles. You ignored our calls. You built in secret while we tried to welcome you. Why hide your strength?" Voss looked straight at him. "We did not hide. We waited. You invited us to sit at your table as children. You offered toys and rules made for soft hands we had no use for. Toys. We needed time. Time to grow. Time to learn. Time to become what the galaxy would respect, not beg from." She waved one hand. Screens bloomed behind her. Big maps showed Sol System in bright detail. Rings of factories turned slow around Mars and Jupiter. Asteroid belts glowed with thousands of mining rigs. Huge shipyards hung in high orbit like steel spiders. They birthed new hulls even as she spoke. Dyson pieces caught sunfire in wide nets. Power flowed like rivers to hungry forges. "We built," she said. "While you talked, we built. While you argued over seats, we built. While you laughed at the quiet monkeys, we built. 1,000 warships here today, more coming tomorrow, and the day after, and every day until we decide different." A Celt commander clicked his mandibles slow. He asked, "What now? Will you rule us? Will you take our worlds?" Her head once. "No. We do not want your chairs or your crowns. We want peace that lasts. Peace backed by strength no one can ignore. Your borders stay yours. Your rules stay yours. But understand one truth. When the next threat comes, when words fail again, we will answer. On our terms, not yours. Never again will we wait for permission to save what needs saving." The channel stayed open a long moment. No one dared speak. Then Voss gave one small nod. "We will help repair your wounded ships. Our drones work already. Take the help. Learn from it. Then go home. Tell your people what happened here. Tell them Earth woke up." The screens went dark. Human repair tenders moved gentle among the Concorde fleet. Drones swarmed like helpful insects. They sealed hulls. They replaced burned plates. They fed power to failing cores. Concorde crews watched in silence. Some touched the black drones with careful hands, as if afraid they might vanish. Days passed. The human fleet held position, 1,000 strong, silent guardians in the Orion Pass. No one challenged them. No one dared. Word spread fast across the stars. Messages flew on fast beams. Every world heard the tale. The Rachni broken. The quiet Earth risen, with power no one saw coming. On Vara Prime the council met again. This time the hall felt smaller. The statues of old speakers looked less grand. Delegates sat quiet. They waited. Then Earth arrived. Not as beggars or observers, but as equals who chose to come. A single shuttle landed soft on the wide pad. The door opened. Admiral Voss stepped out first. Behind her walked officers in crisp black. Marines in heavy armor flanked them. But ready. They did not march loud. They walked calm, straight to the main chamber. No one stopped them. The big doors opened wide. Voss entered. She looked around at the many faces. Crystal glows, bug eyes, water bowls, tree branches, all watching her. She spoke plain. "We are here. You called long ago. We answer now." A seat waited at the main table. It had stayed empty for 63 cycles. Voss walked to it. She sat. No ask, no bow, just sat. No one argued. The crystal speaker cleared his throat soft. He said, "Welcome, Terra." Voss nodded once. "Thank you. Now let us talk real. About threats, about strength, about what comes next." Outside in high orbit the Black Fleet waited. Silent, patient, ready. The galaxy felt different that day. Old pride cracked a little. New respect grew in its place. And somewhere far in Sol, new keels laid down. New engines tested. New crews trained. Earth kept building. Because quiet ones learn fast. And when they finally speak, the stars listen. Weeks passed after the battle at the Orion Pass. The galaxy tried to go back to normal life, but nothing felt the same anymore. Traders still flew their routes, planets still spun, but every conversation carried a new question. What about Earth? What about the Black Fleet? What about the humans who came from nowhere with power no one expected? On Vara Prime, the big council hall filled again. Delegates came from every corner of known space. They walked slower this time. They spoke softer. They looked over their shoulders often. The old pride had cracks now. The statues of ancient heroes seemed smaller under the bright lights. Everyone waited for one thing, the arrival of the Terran delegation. A single sleek shuttle broke atmosphere. It landed gentle on the wide white pad. No fanfare, no loud engines, just quiet descent. The door opened smooth. Admiral Elena Voss stepped out first. She wore the same black uniform, crisp and plain. Her boots made soft clicks on the stone. Behind her came other officers, men and women with steady eyes. Marines in dark armor followed last. Their rifles stayed low, faces hidden behind clear visors. They formed a loose line, no show of force, just presence. The group walked straight to the main doors. Guards stepped aside without a word. Inside the chamber, silence fell heavy. 400 species watched. Crystal people glowed faint. Bug commanders clicked slow. Water singers floated still. Tree mines leaned forward on heavy roots. Voss stopped at the center of the floor. She looked around once, then spoke in clear, simple standard. "We are here. You waited long. We came when it mattered." A seat had waited at the great table for 63 cycles. It sat empty through every cycle. Meeting. Voss walked to it now. She pulled the chair back slow. She sat down. No bow, no speech of thanks. Just sat. The crystal speaker rose first. His voice shook a little. "Welcome, Terra," he said. "We are glad you join us at last." Voss nodded once. "We join as equals, not as latecomers, not as beggars. Equals." No one argued. The meeting began. Talk turned to borders, to trade lanes, to the Rachni remnants hiding in dark space. Voss listened more than she spoke at first. When she did speak, her words cut clean. She said the swarm will return one day. We hurt them bad, but hunger never dies easy. We suggest patrols along the edge, shared sensors, joint drills. Not because we need you, but because shared strength lasts longer. Delegates nodded slow. Some wrote notes fast. Others stared at the human woman who spoke like she already knew the answers. A Thalor singer asked soft. "Will your fleet stay in our space?" Voss answered plain. "Some ships will, not to watch you, to watch the dark, where threats hide. The rest return home, to build more, to train more, to wait for the next call." A Celt commander leaned forward. His blades clicked thoughtful. "You could have taken much today. Worlds, resources, power. Why not?" Voss met his many eyes. "Because we do not want slaves. We want neighbors who stand tall, not ones who kneel. We fought the Rachni to save lives, not to steal thrones. If you want peace, keep it honest. If you want war, we will answer that too. But no, we answer hard." The chamber stayed quiet after that. No jokes about monkeys, no laughs at quiet Earth. Only respect born from seeing truth. Outside the hall, human ships held orbit. High. Not 1,000 now. Some left already. Back to Sol for refit and rest. But enough stayed. Silent black shapes against the stars. They helped repair stations. They shared shield tech without strings. They taught basic tactics to willing crews. No one forced it. They offered. Some took. Some watched wary. But all learned. Years turned into cycles. The galaxy changed slow. Trade grew fairer. Old grudges faded under new rules. Threats came and went. A rogue AI fleet from forgotten space. A star-eating plague from a dead system. Each time humans answered. Not first always, but sure and strong. The phrase spread through markets and bars. Never ignore the quiet ones. They might just be reloading. On Sol the yards never slept. New hulls slid from frames. Bigger, faster, deadlier, but always with the same mark. Blue-green marble crossed by swords. Crews trained in sims that copied every old war. They learned from mistakes no other race remembered. They built not for conquest, but for the day silence might break again. One evening on Vara Prime, Ambassador Vexcar found a human aide after session. The old bug clicked soft. "Why now?" he asked. "Why reveal after so long?" The aide smiled thin. "Because 63 years ago, you invited us to a club. We had no wish to join as pets, so we built our own, stronger. When the galaxy needed us, we came ready." He leaned closer. "Next time, do not wait 63 years to ask nice." Vexcar clicked mandibles in what passed for respect or fear. Maybe both. The aide walked away calm. Behind him the stars watched, and somewhere in the warm light of Sol, another 1,000 shapes took form. Patient, silent, waiting for whatever came next.